They look unbreakable, always smiling, always saying, I'm fine. But late at night, when the world goes quiet, their mind becomes a battlefield. They fight wars no one sees, carry weights no one asks about, and drown in silence that no one hears. This is the psychology of hidden helplessness, a condition where strength becomes a mask and pain learns to smile. Humans are wired to survive through connection, but society often teaches the opposite. Don't show weakness, don't ask for help, stay strong. And over time, some people becomes experts at it. They build a wall of emotional independence so high even love can climb it. They become the strong ones, the ones everyone runs to when things fall apart. But according to a 2023 study in Clinical Psychology Review, those who suppress emotions under the label of strength show 3 times higher levels of emotional exhaustion and physical stress markers, like cortisol. Their calmness isn't peace, it's control. Their silence isn't strength, it is survival. And maybe you've been there too, smiling when your heart is screaming, telling everyone it's okay, because you're too tired to explain that it's not. In psychology, this phenomenon is called learned helplessness, but in strong people, it takes a quieter form, hidden helplessness. When someone repeatedly faces pain or loss, they can't control their brain, especially the amygdala and prefrontal cortex, starts believing, no matter what I do, nothing changes. That belief becomes a loop, turning emotional resilience into emotional paralysis. Studies from the Journal of Behavioral Neuroscience show that this state physically alerts brain activity. The dopaminergic reward system weakens, meaning even good things stop feeling good. And the HPA axis, the system that manages stress, stays hyperactive, constantly producing cortisol, the fight or flight hormone. In simple terms, the body never stops being at war. That's why even when everything seems fine, a person can still feel like they're slowly fading, not from the outside world, but from inside their own mind. Here's the paradox. The stronger someone looks, the less help they usually get. Society praises resilience, but rarely notices the cost of it. Strong people fear being a burden. They've learned to fix others, not to be fixed. They've been rewarded for being composed, so they turn their breakdowns into private rituals. A paper published in the APA Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals who identify as emotionally strong are significantly more likely to self-isolate under distress due to self-stigma, the internalized belief that vulnerability equals weakness. So they stay quiet. They pretend it's fine. They smile through the ache, because being the strong one has become their identify. And the tragedy is, the world believes them, because no one checks on the friend who always says, I got this. Suppressed pain doesn't disappear, it relocates. It hides in your muscles, your sleep, your digestion, your heartbeat. Neuroscientist Bessel van der Kolk calls it the body keeps the score. He found that emotional suppression activates the same psychological pathways as chronic stress, That means your body remembers every unspoken pain, headaches that never leave, fatigue without reason, that sudden anxiety when things finally get quiet. That's your body replaying unprocessed emotions. So, when you see a strong person always tired, always tense, always busy, sometimes it's not productivity, it's avoidance. Every human has a limit, even the strong ones. The difference is that strong people often reach their limit alone because no one expects them to fall. No one imagines that the person who saves everyone else could be silently losing themselves. According to a 2022 mental health survey by the National Institute of Health, people with high caregiving roles are 60% more likely to experience burnout, depression, and emotional detachment. This is called compassion fatigue. It's when your empathy runs dry, not because you stopped caring, but because you've cared too much, for too long, with no refill. And when that point arrives, the breakdown doesn't look like screaming or crying. It looks like silence. They simply disappear into their own quietness. Strong people collect emotions like stones in a backpack. They don't throw them away. They just keep walking, pretending the weight doesn't exist. And this overload leads to emotional blunting, the brain's defense mechanism to protect itself. MRI studies show that chronic emotional suppression causes reduced activity in the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for emotional regulation and empathy. That's why, over time, strong people stop feeling, not because they don't care, but because their brain is trying to keep them safe. It's not that they've lost emotion, it's that they've built a wall so thick, even love can't get through anymore. Here's the hopeful part. The same brain that learned helplessness can unlearn it. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, allows emotional healing. According to Stanford research, verbalizing emotions reduces amygdala activity by up to 40%. In therapy, this is called affect labeling. That means talking about your pain doesn't make you weak. It literally reprograms your brain to calm down. Similarly, connection and safe vulnerability increase oxytocin and serotonin, which reduce stress hormones and restore balance to the nervous system. So, the moment you say, "I'm not okay," you're not breaking, you're beginning to heal. No one heals alone. And ironically, the ones who feel safest alone are often the ones who most need others. Human brains are social machines. From birth, our nervous system is wired to co-regulate, meaning your emotional state literally syncs with the people you trust. A study in social cognitive and affective neuroscience found that simply holding a loved one's hand during stress reduces pain perception by 30%. That's not magic. That's biology. So, maybe healing doesn't start with big speeches or therapy sessions. Maybe it starts with a single honest sentence, like, "I'm tired, I need help," or "I can't do this alone." So, we glorify endurance, but real courage isn't about never failing. It's about allowing yourself to be human. The people who seem weak for crying, for pausing, for asking for help are the ones actually doing the hardest work, facing their truth. In the end, pretending to be okay doesn't make you strong. It just makes you invisible. And invisible pain is the most dangerous kind. Because strength isn't in silence. It's in the moment you finally say, "I can't keep carrying this alone." So, If you've ever been the strong one, the one who keeps everything together, this is your reminder. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to ask for help. And you are allowed to not be okay. So when you finally stop fighting the silence, you'll hear something softer underneath it. Yourself. Because healing doesn't sound like victory. It sounds like breathing again. It sounds like finally being human. So the strongest souls aren't the ones who never fall apart. They are the ones who have learned how to rebuild quietly in the dark. But here's the question most people never ask. What happens when your mind becomes too tired to rebuild? When even silence stops feeling safe and your thoughts start turning against you? So, in the next videos, we'll dive into the science of mental fatigue, why your brain shuts down when you need it the most, and how to restart the part of you that forgot how to hope. Because healing doesn't end here. It begins with understanding why your mind gives up before your heart does.